Hey, my name is Brian. That is Shane. This is the Popcast, and today we're talking about Lost in Space, episode 3 and 4. And yes, we did promise this last Friday, and yes, you were getting it on a Monday. This time it wasn't my fault, though. So,
nope.
I'm just saying.
My fault.
It was my fault last time. This time it was definitely Shane's fault.
But can I tell him why it was my fault?
Yeah.
It's not only my fault. See, it's my kids' fault too, because see, they got really hungry on Friday, and then like I went down into the cellar, our little basement, to get some stuff so I could like get ready for our show, like the good podcaster I try to be.
Right.
And those little guys like locked me in there and wouldn't let me out until I promised to give them chocolate cake for lunch. And
this was me. I was sitting at our little recording station with the light on, blaring in my face, saying, "Shane, Shane, where are you, Shane?" And then I got a message. "I'm locked in the basement. Send help." Yeah. Anyways, we missed on Friday, but you know what? We're here on Monday, which means that this episode is going to push our Westworld premiere. Unfortunately. But if you've been watching Westworld, you know that pushing that premiere is probably a good thing, because the first couple episodes gave us no information anyways, and we're finally starting to get some, trying to figure out what the MacGuffin of this season is going to be, so we'll talk about that more next Monday. So
Is it natural, Brian, is it natural for me to be afraid of artificial intelligence at this point?
I mean,
a little bit.
I don't know. I know like Elon Musk and like Mark Zuckerberg are having like an argument over it. I don't know. I feel like artificial intelligence runs on electricity, and we have a lot of problems just like charging our phones. I'm not really concerned about it in my lifetime. Because if you run on electricity, you're probably going to have a hard time in the current climate where we live right now. So maybe that's my kids might have an issue with it, but I embrace it. Bring the robot overlords. They might be logical than our current leaders.
That's funny.
They might be a little more reasonable than our current two-party ridiculousness that we deal with. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
God, I hate politics. Hey, listen, guys, 3,200 sub milestone giveaway. We're giving away a gaming console of your choice. You name it, whatever console you want, you will be getting it in the mail if you win the 3,200 sub giveaway, barring any like ridiculous special edition Denmark Dreamcast or something crazy. Something we can buy on Amazon and send your way. That's going to happen, 3,200 sub giveaway. So once we get 3,200 subs, we're going to do this whole, crazy war-like simulator where we pick a random subscriber via a bracket system. It's a whole fun thing, and then the winner will get that console. So get in there, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your siblings, to get in here and subscribe. Also, comment below for your chance to be in the running. If you want to be really devious, just go to your significant other's phone, subscribe for them, but never let them comment.
Right. You could never comment, but just subscribe.
Anyways, guys, get in there and do that. Okay, so as we discussed earlier today, we're talking about Lost in Space. This is our by-episode review. We're doing episode 3 and 4 in one shot, because when Netflix released Lost in Space, they released it all in one giant setting, and we didn't think we would do it justice by reviewing the entire thing at one time. So we're doing 2 episodes a week, roughly, because we miss weeks. But 1 and 2 was already done. You can check that out. It'll be in the description below. And now we're talking about 3 and 4. Shane, give me your TLDR on this episode, or these 2 episodes.
I think that this is where you start to really learn about the family. You really start to find out what their situation currently is, and you kind of start to figure out, well, wait a sec, they might be here for a very long time.
Yeah.
And so I think the relationship between the siblings starts to kind of set in. You get a little more, right now the oldest sister is kind of, what's the right word? Cold. And you see her start to warm up a little bit. You see the relationship between the mom and the dad really start to sort itself out. So I think this is like the next 2 episodes are like a learning process of who the Robinsons really are.
And what their situation truly is. Yeah.
Truly it. Yeah.
I'm
and you start
with that.
And you get the fringe characters. You get the people, kind of the other people that are in this world and what's going to happen.
Yeah, like Dawn West and
Yes.
Dr. Smith. In fact, we start the first episode 3 with Dr. Smith and her backstory. And basically, she comes from a pretty rich family, and she's been sorry, I don't know why I started coughing. She's visiting her sister, her wealthy sister. So Dr. Smith is basically a total screw up. She's been a screw up her whole life, but her family is wealthy. Her sister has taken the mantle of like the person in charge of the family and the family's money. And she's planning on going to the new world because I guess Earth is not going to be doing great. And we still don't totally know the future ramifications of what's going on Earth, do we?
We don't. We don't really know. We don't know if people are leaving because they can or if people are leaving because they need to. It's not clear.
But obviously, Dr. Smith is survived. It's obviously something dire enough for Dr. Smith to drug her sister and take her place aboard the Resolute, right?
Oh, okay. So that's a good point because in my mind, I can't figure out whether or not, she's doing it because she doesn't want her sister to elevate her above her even more. So by her taking this trip is like her sister one more time showing how much better I am than you, putting her thumb on her.
See, I disagree because remember, her sister does say, but don't worry, even though you're staying here, I'm giving you everything. The house, the cars.
Yeah, but I'm saying though, I'm giving you all of my leftovers, but while I take the road to the, you know what I'm saying? So she's still putting her heel in her sister's face by doing this, even though she's giving her all of her secondhand stuff.
I mean, maybe she is, but I almost want to think that the situation on Earth must be a lot more dire than we initially assumed.
That makes sense.
Because why would you want to go to a new frontier where you don't have the amenities of home when you can have all the riches you can ask for right here on Earth? Because they're obviously super wealthy, right?
Yeah, so why would they want to leave if Earth wasn't in really drastic trouble? Right.
And so Dr. Smith must know that what she's offering her is only good for a very brief amount of time. So I'm just going to go and take this place. That must be the case. There must be something really bad on Earth, and we don't really know what it is yet.
I can go with that.
So she drugs her sister, takes her place, and that's that. Moving on, we're on to the Jupiter, and we see the first sort of insight to the relationship between Mama Robinson and Papa Robinson, as there are. She's calling the shots, and he's clearly there as help to her. And when he has his own opinion, she sort of shuts him down, right?
Yeah, and he doesn't. What I thought was weird about this show was that he doesn't really know why they're not doing well together, why their relationship's dying. I found that quite interesting. I figured that we were just waiting to find out, but he actually was still waiting to find out.
Yeah, basically, her reasoning is that he purposely has spent his time away from the family, protecting, as a soldier, doing, God's work. I don't know. I mean, protecting the nation or whatever.
Right. And he chose to deploy when he didn't have to.
Right. And she's seeing that as him not wanting to be with his family, but they have a difference of opinions. So he's like, I don't really get it. I'm a good husband, a good father. I support you. I'm not here for you emotionally because I'm out, fighting bad guys or whatever. And so he doesn't understand, and she doesn't really understand why he doesn't understand, clearly.
Yes. Yeah. And there's a couple of nice moments between them.
Yeah, and then we get the first sort of meeting between Dr. Smith and young Will. And it's interesting. This definitely struck me. Like, I watched the old series, and so I remember that they had some kind of a connection. There was definitely a connection being formed here the same way.
Yeah, I agree. It definitely reminds me of that initial relationship from the original series. She likes this kid.
Yeah, clearly.
You can tell.
Yeah. And then we get a shot of someone printed something on the 3D printer. What is it? We don't know, but it's complete. It's unknown. The file size was 104 megabytes.
Man, that's small.
So you don't see it in this shot, but there's another shot where I will show it to you later on, where it shows the resolution, if you looked off to the right, as 300 and the file size is 104 megabytes. Later on, a little small criticism. I don't think the people that did the graphics for this show really know what it takes to print a 3D object.
Yeah, it's not like printing a picture.
No, it's not. I mean, like, these are fine for like high resolution pictures, but not for 3D objects. Anyways, they're having a problem with the fuel system, so they send Papa Robinson down there to deal with the fuel system. And what do we get? The robot, excuse me, the robot sees something in the vents, freaks out, grabs Will, to protect him, and protects him from the falling snake or whatever it is, and throws him in a room where, lo and behold, Dr. Smith was actually already hiding.
Right, that's perfect.
Yeah. Okay, so they discover what it is, and it looks like some kind of crazy eel or snake or something, some creature that's very snake-like or eel-like, and it's eating the fuel, man. Oh, no.
Dang it.
Yeah, you know what the problem, I have one more criticism of the show. It does seem like every turn is bad luck for this family.
Yeah, nothing good is going on. It's very, I mean, they're definitely trying to force strand them on this planet.
Yeah. Well, Papa Robinson decides that he needs to get some kind of tool that's in that room, and the robot literally won't let him in.
Yeah, that's scary.
So, you know what Papa Robinson, I like it. He goes, fine, print me one. Just print me one.
Oh.
Because he knows he can't reason with this random alien robot. I mean, the scary part is, like, they don't really have a choice as to whether this robot's on their ship.
Yeah, it's pretty much doing what it wants at this point.
Yeah, this is crazy. So this is when Dr. Smith has some nice insight for Will, and she's like, listen, you're in charge of the robot. You think that you want to be left out of the room, but in reality, you're scared, and it knows you're scared, and so you're subconsciously trying to stay there in the room.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. And I thought that was actually pretty good take. She's not a psychologist.
No.
But she sure came across as one there.
Yeah. How is she able to do that if she's not an actual psychologist?
Just maybe some sort of criminal mastermind. I don't know.
Maybe she's been to so many psychologists that she has like an idea of how they operate.
Okay. Maybe she's mentally
challenged.
Whatever. Herself.
All right, so we get a little more backstory on Dr. Smith. When she gets up to the Resolute, dressed as her sister, man, this lady has some poor bad luck, because one of the people scanning the people coming in happened to know who she is, and she's having an affair with her sister. Oh, no.
Yeah, apparently. That was weird. A little uncomfortable.
Yep. And after a little tussle, he gets thrown to an airlock, and she has the ability to release him from the airlock, but she hesitates, and he gets thrown out of the airlock and dies. Oh no! So she's not exactly a murderer, but she's also not a savior. She just sort of, I mean,
she's a survivor.
Let me ask you a question: Are you a murderer if you fail to act when you can? Like, is inaction considered makes you a murderer, or is that like at best manslaughter?
I think inaction puts you pretty darn close to it.
Like,
if anything, it makes you a coward, I think.
Right. So let's say I'm on my daily rollerblading, and I run. I skate by. Yes, I rollerblade. I forgot to mention that.
I was gonna say
It's the way I exercise. Let's say I skate by that that golf course on Ball where they do the driving range on the water, right?
Yeah.
And I see one of the golfers down there. He's driving away, and he drives a little too hard, and he falls in the water. And he's an old guy, and I can skate down there and save him, but it's a lot of work, and I'm already sort of tired. And I know that if I skate down there, I'm gonna have to skate back up, which is such a pain in the butt. So I decide just to sort of watch him drown and keep skating. That makes me a murderer, right?
I think it makes you somewhat responsible. So, I mean, okay. Now, maybe if you were knew you were going to break both of your legs. So that actually what your situation makes you more criminal than Dr. Smith. Because Dr. Smith knows if she saves him, she's not going to get to go on this ship, and she's not going to get to save her life or whatever the heck it is she's doing. At least you were just like, I don't want to put the effort into it. Nothing bad's going to happen to me other than I'm going to be tired. Her life is going to change significantly. So it actually makes you a little more criminal, I think, than her. Although what she does is tantamount to, manslaughter, murder.
So I would say manslaughter, but probably not murder.
It was not premeditated.
Yeah, it wasn't premeditated, and she is not the one who caused it per se, right?
Yeah, so call it murder one.
All right.
Murder two.
Anyways, back on the ship, Papa Robinson is definitely fighting with these eels.
That is a big mouth.
Yeah, it is. And Will Robinson and Dr. Smith are still having their little psychiatrist moment or whatever it is, where she's trying to help him get past his fear, and she tells them, "Hey, man, the robot's not trying to defend me, so why don't you tell him to let me out, and you can stay in here, and I'll go help your family." And I'm thinking at that moment, I'm like, "Oh wow, she really wants to help," Yeah. No. I mean, no. She does if she does. We'll get to that. She does. Did we see some humanity from her?
A little bit. Yes. Very little.
Yeah.
But she wants to find out how the robot works, how much control he has.
She also wants to get out because she thinks they're going to die. She wants to take that
yes.
That vehicle out of the ship. All right. So she gets to get out. She's about to get it. She gets in that vehicle and she's about to take off. And she's like, damn it, I have to help them. Now, here's the question. She can leave right now and save herself. So what's the deal?
Well, she straight up murdered her sister.
No, she didn't murder her.
Yes, she did.
No. She knocked her out, then she tied her up.
Oh, she's not dead? Her sister's not dead?
Sister's not dead.
Oh, I thought she poisoned her.
No. She did poison her, but she knocked her out. But the last shot was her tied up in the bathroom.
Oh, well, okay. I missed that somehow. So that's actually okay. That's a little better. So I thought she killed her because I was actually going to criticize the fact, well, if she killed her sister and then the guy in the airlock's nothing. So if she didn't kill her sister, the guy in the airlock makes sense. And she left, what's his name? Don.
Yeah, because so far, all the time she thought she killed someone was through inaction, not necessarily action. She didn't pull the trigger.
Through inaction or a little bit of manipulation. So this character lines right up with the original Dr. Smith. I know a lot of people are criticizing this version of Dr. Smith, but so far everything, at least as far as taking responsibility, that character didn't take responsibility for much.
Yeah, she's not really she's not a pure evil psychopath. She's a sociopath that's all about selfish survival. And
but has a little bit of empathy, little bit.
Right, it's just enough because there's a chance for her to leave right now. She has the opportunity to leave the ship, and she makes the decision to go help Mama Robinson get the ship going. Even though
down the road,
there's a huge chance that they all don't survive even though she helps.
Yeah, and down the road, this type of character, once you figured out what she's really about, and once everybody kind of sees who she is and what she is, she would be the kind of character that in this situation later on would just say something like, "No, I just needed you guys to help me later." She wouldn't take the credit for it. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, but that's my question. Help her with that, because this is the shot of her going to Margaret Robinson and helping her push in that reactor so they can get off the ground.
Right.
She doesn't have to help them.
Yeah, she didn't have to. So this is actually a classic type of villain, a villain that's not completely evil, that's more selfish, still has some care for others, but cares more about themselves.
Right. So more of a sociopath than a psychopath.
More of a sociopath, and but it's the type of character who doesn't want to be recognized for being helpful.
Right.
So once she's found out, she's not going to want to be rewarded for being helpful or thanked or made to feel better. She's not going to want to be recognized as that kind of person.
Right. Yeah. So, those criticisms of Dr. Smith's character of, oh, she's just evil for the sake of being evil. What's that about? That's not really the case here. She's
not true.
A very layered character, as we see in the 3rd episode of this series.
Yeah. That's totally incorrect. Maybe other people missed that tying up of the sister thing. I don't know how I missed it.
Yeah, maybe they did. No, she was tied up for sure, though. I actually recognized that actress. She was in I recognize her. She's in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, she was in that Cruel Intentions movie.
Cruel Intentions. I remember that. What a movie that is. All right. This scene, I just want to throw this shot in here real quick. The Will Robinson literally hugging the robot was interesting.
Yeah. That's interesting. And, that goes a lot along with the dad's been gone a lot. The dad hasn't been much of a dad. I mean, these have these undertones of the robot almost fulfilling that need that the boy has, that the dad is not.
Yep, that's what it is. Now they get off the ship. They get the ship out and they safely land somewhere that's seemingly a lot more hospitable than the old environment they were in. But they're out of fuel.
Completely. Yeah, they had to use their last bit.
Right. They used whatever was in the lines. All right. Then we get a little more backstory on Dr. Smith. She gets discovered when that guy dies, and they're planning. They don't really know what to do with her, so they're going to keep her. But the guy makes sure that she knows there's no rule up here. There's no law. I am the law. I can do whatever I want.
I can do whatever I want.
Right. And the ship gets attacked. And here is a actual shot of that screen. All right.
Oh, wait a
104 megabytes. Resolution is 300 micron. What?
Now is 300 is a micron the same as a pixel?
It's DPI. Yeah. So
micron is the same as DPI.
I could be wrong, but I'm fairly certain that's the case. And I did a little bit of research on this topic when I saw the screen, because I thought, okay, this is a problem. And a standard 3D printers have a low 300 micron resolution, right?
Okay.
The resolution is what is DPI, so 300 micron, right? So maybe they do, but those printers, they print sort of Minecraft style, objects.
Okay.
A high-end 3D printer now that you can buy for like $5,000 or $6,000 is at 1600 resolution.
Right.
And even then, I don't think it can print that gun and be effective. So that integrate firearm that they printed was 104 megs and 300 DPI. I think that the graphics department, they were thinking along the lines of how graphics are. Like when you send in a file to be printed, it's, I
got an answer for you.
What's up?
I got an answer for you, bro. Okay, so at fsa.usda.gov, it says a scan at 25 microns will produce a 1,016 dots per inch DPI. So 25 microns is 1,000 DPI.
Oh, so I'm wrong. 300 micron is good.
300 micron would be somewhere in the neighborhood of basically 12,000 DPI.
Okay, so that's great. I'm wrong there. I feel good about that. What about the file size? 104 megs for a working gun?
That doesn't make sense to me.
All right, here's a comparison. This video you're watching is being uploaded to YouTube, and it's around 1,000 megs.
Oh, yeah, no.
So
yeah,
maybe compression's really good in the future. Right?
Okay, fair.
Okay. Enough. All right. Yeah. And then it is a gun that they produced, and he gives Will the gun. Will should have immediately given the gun to his father. I'm not sure why he kept it under his pillow, but
he's a kid. You know, it's cool to have something powerful.
Yeah. Of course, Dr. Smith saw that weapon. So.
Oh yeah.
Now, by the way, that was the end of episode 4. We're on episode 3. We're on episode 4 now, and it shows the robot helping. He's putting in the stakes. He's moving the rocks. He's a help to the family. I like this shot, by the way. It looked like Will was moving that giant rock, and then it sort of pans and shows the robot.
Yeah,
like that. And another heart-to-heart between Smith and Will, where she's asking him more about the robot. She is fascinated with the robot, but she also seems to have this weird empathy for Will, right? Just like in the original.
Yeah, and exactly the same. Dr. Smith in the original was obsessed with the robot. He had to have the robot.
Right.
So she's kind of going down the same path.
Now, Papa, Mama, and Judy decide to jump in the chariot to go find, now that they're safe, to go find other Jupiters. And that's where we meet our first of the other Jupiter families. And this is a biologist and his daughter. They're examining some creatures that are on the ground, and they're obviously from the other Jupiter. Jupiter 13, I believe.
Nice.
All right, and guess who's there? Don West.
He is saved, and at this point, we thought he was going to be a gonzo.
And he has his chicken.
Yeah.
And he meets the family, and they discover part of the Resolute out in the desert that might have communication gear, so they go after it. Both Don West, by the way, and Mama and Papa Robinson. Meanwhile, Judy is examining the patient that was shot by the alien robot up on the Resolute, and her injuries are interesting.
Yes.
All right, this is when we get a shot of Robot and Will. And Robot actually draws something that, that's very interesting. He says, "This is the danger." And it shows like this weird sort of, it almost looks like an infinity symbol or like a binary star or something. But he's trying to get the information out there. I don't fully understand, by the way, how the robot can say danger, Will Robinson, but it can't say like anything else.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because in the original series, the robot did say other things. So, yeah, I'm not sure why they haven't used more verbal with this robot.
So he knows what the word danger means, and he knows what Will Robinson's name is, but he hasn't learned any other language skills yet, which is interesting.
Maybe it takes time, but, maybe that's the first thing he learned,
Well, this is some extreme foreshadowing, kiddies.
Yeah.
Extreme foreshadowing right here. All right, now Judy knows about the robot. She knows what that was the robot that harmed her patient, and she's now confronting Will, and their plan is to take the robot and leave him somewhere in a cave.
She's like, she's like, listen, if you don't tell Dad, I'm gonna tell Dad.
Right. By the way, 18-year-old Judy, you should not trust your 10-year-old brother to do anything. Just tell your father and mother.
Yeah.
Now, the kids decide to take the robot themselves to that cave, and the robot, I like this shot because the robot pushes down the tree so they can get across. That was cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
And now we're back to Don and Mama and Papa. And Mom and Dad are looking for a box, but apparently Don was smuggling his booze in that box, and now they're confronting Don because what they needed is not there. Instead, they just got a bunch of alcohol, which I would argue they probably need more in this moment. So
at this time, yeah. And I like this. I like the comment here that Don makes. He looks over at the dad, and he's like, does she hold grudges?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah. Yes, she does. That's the answer.
Oh yeah.
All right. We're out in the woods right now, and they're taking the robot, and they run across another crew, and the son of the leader of the expedition,
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
The elected leader of the expedition.
Right. And they blackmail him into not saying anything. And I love this shot right here. That little shot of her looking behind her, looking at the rear end of that young boy. All right. So she is clearly into this kid.
Yeah, she would be a frightening teenager to know.
Oh, yeah. When my kids get to 13 and 14, I'm going to have an armed security guard just following them around. All right. They find the cave. They're going to stash him in. And they write that Robinson's here on the wall. I thought that was really nice. The robot actually, when they all put their handprints on the wall, the robot, when they're sleeping, does the same. Like he wants to be part of the family. I thought that was interesting.
I love how they show them doing that, and they show the robot watching them. I thought that shot was set up really well and allowed us to have a very natural progression to the growth of the robot's character. Really great job in that scene.
I totally agree. Then we get this crazy shot. What's up?
One last. And it allowed Judy to make a connection with the robot.
Right.
Because she saw the robot do it.
She saw the robot do it. Right.
Right.
And then now we're back with Dad and Mom, and they're looking up at this beautiful sky with what appears to be northern lights going on, but actually they're crazy space jellyfish. What?
Right? Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that was really cool. And they get trapped inside of the falling satellite. I'm sorry, the falling communication dish.
Now they're stuck together.
And they got to have a conversation. And Don's sitting there with a torch outside trying to get him out. By the way, Don West, he does get them out and doesn't get any love from Mom and Dad.
I think Don West that's gonna happen a lot for Don West in this show.
He spends his entire night cutting through that metal and not even a thank you. What?
I noticed the exact same thing.
Dude,
they were so wrapped up in what's going on with themselves, bro. Yeah.
Hey, Don, thank you so much for spending the entire night cutting metal for me. Oh, God.
Yeah.
All right. Back on the ship. I like how the kids get back and they act like nothing even happened.
Yeah, like they weren't gone.
Yeah. They're obviously a nice little team right here. And the final shot is Dr. Smith walking into the cave to talk to the robot. Because she watched him the whole time.
Great way to end episode 4.
I agree. Now she gets her time with the robot.
She's going to get her time to try to make it hers.
Yeah, man. And that's it. And I got to say, I like these 2 episodes a lot. I did have a problem with the resolution thing, but clearly you fixed that for me. Thank you. And my only other problem, I would say my only other criticism of this series so far is that they seem to always be getting in trouble, which is, I guess, the point of the show. I guess it is. And I think that Judy is an 18-year-old, that they're painting her as a doctor, responsible doctor, and she does something very out of character by allowing her very, very young brother to be sort of in charge of the robot. And I think she's giving him way too much leeway when she knows the robot is the reason they're on that planet basically right now.
Well, the only good thing I'll say about that is that goes in line with the fact that just because you're 18 doesn't mean you're an adult, and you still make kid mistakes, even at that age.
That's true. By the way, I want everybody to see my awesome Bob's Burger t-shirt.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah. That way, let me show you mine too. Wait.
Oh, this is mine. Yeah. It's bigger in Japan. That's right.
Which I literally am very big in Japan.
Oh, yeah. FYI. No, you and I both, bro. We're like giants over there.
Yeah, like Andre the Giant big.
Okay, guys, that's it for today's episode. I'm sorry that it was not on Friday and instead we released on Monday. We are still getting used to doing a daily show, and life sometimes gets in the way, but we're gonna try our best to keep this daily shows coming. So please subscribe below, comment, hit the share button, hit the like button, hit that little alert button, give us the whole thing, and we'll be back tomorrow for. I don't even remember, but it's going to be another show tomorrow. American Idol. American Idol tomorrow. Yep. And the next day will be The Flash, and the day after that will be something else, and more stuff. And just stay tuned. Hit the alert button. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, guys. We love you. Thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, and be kind to somebody today.
Oh,
Thank you.